Alright, so here we are, Scuf Forza Elite controller review. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start from the first of the four controllers I have out here to show you kind of what you're going to get for your money and things like that and how it all makes sense. So we got a budget controller, a regular controller, an elite controller, and the Scuf. And I'm going to give you all the details on the Scuf, but I'm going to quickly break into the basics of the other ones and what you get. So you got the cheap controller here. This is just a budget $40 controller PDP. Really clicky buttons. I mean, not really that fantastic. Nothing special about it. Wired only. Feels very cheap. Built-in audio, which is kind of okay, but it's really not that fantastic. So really not a great controller all around. It's just something that's portable and cheap. You can throw it around, things like that. So we'll move that off to the side. Now we have a fairly regular Xbox One controller minus the Gears of War design. I have the Gears of War Xbox, so it's got a nice little grippy texture to the back here. Battery powered, fits audio in this. D-pad's nice, nothing's interchangeable. Standard analog sticks, heights and everything. Things like that. And it's got some Bluetooth connectivity as well built into it. So that is that controller wrapped up really quick. Now on to the Elite controller. This is where things get interesting because you can have the standard stick, which I showed you, or a domed medium stick, or a regular tall stick. As you can see, it's higher up than the normal heights of a stick, as you can see there. And that's how that works. Same, this plus this. This does not have Bluetooth connectivity in it. It's got this D-pad or the regular D-pad, which we have over here. So that's how that. Both controllers come with that. And buttons are regular, switch between the things, sync button, batteries, trigger locks, and then of course you can add the paddles, which also come with the Scuff Elite, as well as the trigger locks, and then this grippy texture all along the entire controller, both sides. Nice and grippy texture. So that's that. Analog sticks come off, of course, and that's the gist of it. So that's a pretty heavy controller, and that's what that is.
And on to the Scuff Elite, finally. Also, quick mic change. Let me know if you guys like this one better. But back to the controller. So it's got a very nice plate on the front, which you just saw there. Cases are for the most part the same between that and the regular Elite controller, minus that plate there, and the thumbsticks that come within it. You just saw a glimpse of the box. Really nice packaging. I really enjoyed it. There was a couple of hiccups with things inside, but I think that was just because it had to go through border crossing, and they probably opened it because they thought it was a bomb or something, so they like that. So anyways, there is the collectible car, the Porsche 911 GT2 RS, one of 500. Mine didn't actually say that on it. Some of them do, a little bit of a thing there, I don't know, but it's really not the end of the world. And on to the controller. Incredible finish. It's got both of the D-pads. It's got the regular D-pad and the 16 direction D-pad. It's got the regular sticks, the domed sticks, and the tall sticks, all with the custom Scuf grip on the top. The magnets are pretty strong. I really like them. The inner ring is really smooth. I really like it. That's one of the biggest things in terms of gaming, is really having that smoothness along the edges of the sticks. That's usually what tends to have us players, pro players, get a new controller, things like that. It starts to get kind of jagged and not quite so smooth. So that's that. And yeah, so you can see the difference there, tall and medium, and then there's the short. There's got a decent carbon fiber finish along the top there. Not quite sure if that's actual carbon fiber or not. It's probably like a really thin layer or a look-alike print. I have no idea what it is. I do know that the Alcantara leather is definitely incredible, and it feels incredible, and it's very grippy. And there's also the gray lining in the grip there, just like the Elite controller does have, the regular one. And the paddles do lift off and pull out, but I did not want to play around with it, and you can still fit in the original Elite paddles if you do prefer those. I myself hate them. I personally have fallen in love with these paddles. They are incredibly placed. They are very hard to misclick. They are very useful. The trigger locks are great. The Alcantara feels really good. and the finish and the paint job on this thing is really, really nice. So nice, in fact, that I didn't actually use the controller for a few days, and I really didn't do any extensive testing until very recently, a lot of which I streamed on the channel. So once I got into it, I really liked the controller. It is definitely just as good as any other Scuf they sell, I would imagine, because the layout is exactly the same. It just has a very, very nice, unique finish, and instead of the Scuf grips on the outside, it's got the Alcantara leather. So that's the complete package. I really like it. I'm going to show you guys some gameplay of me using it while I discuss things I like about it and the things that maybe aren't so great about it, and if it's really worth spending this kind of money if you're really into Forza and you want something like this to have for yourself. So with all that being said, I hope you guys liked my breakdown and comparison of the basics all the way up to this incredible controller, and we're going to get right into the gameplay. So now we're into the gameplay. We're going to start with Siege, and anything shooter related or sports related, anything that requires a lot of different button presses while maybe aiming at the same time or looking around or doing fancy footwork, things like that, FIFA, whatever it is, Madden, anything that can have extra buttons added to it to help you game better, this is going to be great for. As you can see, in a shooting game, drop shotting, super easy. Something where you can tilt left and right by clicking in the sticks, which is how it works in Rainbow Six Siege. Instead of doing that and compromising your aim and your movement, you can use the paddle, so that way you can aim nice and precise while still being able to tilt around. Drop shot without having to take your finger off the stick, so you can aim while drop shotting, things like that. Reload without hindering your aim, looking around corners, things like that. Whatever it may be, you can program them however you want. There's a 16 directional D-pad that you can use for fighting games if you're really into that. There's a standard, I guess, 4 or 8 directional pad, which also comes with it, which I touched upon earlier. The leather handles, really, really comfortable for long gaming sessions. I have thoroughly tested that. Very, very nice. The interchangeable sticks doesn't come with the regular Elite controller ones, but Scuffs are really, really good. I'm really, really impressed by how grippy they are. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed about is the carbon fiber trim at the top of the controller. Not quite as impressive. I'm not really sure if it's real carbon fiber. I'm pretty sure it's not. So that aside, it's got full marks from me. The buttons feel great. The trigger locks are also really, really nice. For the tests of this video, I was just kind of spraying against the wall. I really liked it. I don't actually hit the trigger cap when I play myself with any controller, so for me it was a little weird to kind of give you guys an opinion on that, so I was using them to where I would hit it as fast as I can, hitting the back wall of the trigger lock. And with that I was able to shoot almost as fast as I would be able to with my years and years of gaming experience, I guess you can call it. So with all that, that's all the features the controller has. It does have a very nice braided cable, so you don't have to worry about having batteries in it. It is a pretty heavy controller on its own, which I don't mind. It's actually nice. And on top of that, there is the toggle in the middle for having different presets. You can save as many as you like to your Xbox, upload 2 at a time to the controller, switch between them whenever you want. I got one for Siege, I got one for PUBG, I got one for Forza, I got one for Halo, I got one for fighting games, I got one for FIFA, I got one for everything that I would play and want to use this for, which is really, really nice. It's really, really easy. It syncs up with your computer if you have an app on your computer, and it'll work however you want. And there's just some shots of me drop shotting while aiming, things that normally you would have to do while playing claw on a regular controller, which is really, really bad for your hand posture. Claw is where you curl your index finger over the X, Y, and B button so that you can access those while still aiming, and that's not good for your hands at all. And this controller fixes that by giving you really nicely placed paddles. They're very, very hard to misclick. They feel much better and in a much better position than the Xbox standard Elite paddles, which do come with the controller, but I'm not even going to bother. I have a regular Elite controller. This is way better in terms of comfort, usability, how long you can game for without your hand cramping up and things like that. Very comfortable controller, and I really like it in all of those aspects. But that being said, doesn't matter how many advantages this controller gives you, you can still make mistakes, you can still die, or mess up your race or screw up a corner, whatever it is. It's not going to make you a perfect player, but it is going to help you out a lot, and it's going to amplify what you have already so you can grow and become a better gamer or even a pro gamer one day. Alright, and with all that, let's move away from Siege and to Forza until the end of the review. So, with all that being said, I mean, it's not going to give you the ultimate edge in everything. As an example, I'm an experienced Forza player. There's not much this controller can offer me. I use A for my clutch, B and X for my shifting. The paddles are useless to me in this game. The smooth analog stick setting in the app is just going to delay your turn-in on your car, so that's not really going to help either. For some of you it might, but at the end of the day, just an experienced Forza player is not going to get much from this, and I'm sure a lot of you really interested in this controller are really big fans and have played a lot of Forza. So with all that being said, the controller is really good. Is it worth the extra $150 to get the nice design and the fancy car? That's up for you to decide. The controller itself, it's a Scuf and it's great, and I really, really like it, and I definitely do not regret my purchase at all. So with all that being said, that's my review. It might not be for everyone, but it's definitely one hell of a controller, and I have to give it that standing, because I'm just really impressed. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Also, I'm going to be doing a 1-hour stream every day of Forza, so stay tuned.